Hey guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to put together your custom scooter. So now what I'm going to do is show you guys how to put in the front end. So with my fork, I have the Longway production fork. So it does not have an integrated crown race. So I have a crown race right here. So I'm going to slide it on right there. And then now I already have my Root Industries headset put in. So now you slide the fork up like that. And then now what you do, you have this little thing that sits into the bearing that holds the fork in place. So you put that on. Alright, so now I got my Root Industries dust cover. So I'm going to slide it onto there. Make sure it's nice and even with your fork, and make sure, like mine, it went down, so push it back up and then hold it and then push your dust cover down like that, so there's no space from your fork because you don't want it to be moving around when you're riding. So now for me, we'll get the SCS clamp. I have the MV3 bolt SCS. And see right there, it has the little lip in there. You want the fork to be below it. So when I put it in and see the lip is below the fork, that's not good because when you tighten it up, there'll be play and it'll move it around and you won't be able to dial in your scooter. So what I have is I have these two 5mm headset spacers in silver, so I'm going to slide these two on here, and now get the SCS clamp, put it on there, and now it has the room to where when you put this in right here, the bolt and the washer, when you put it in, it can actually compress instead of it moving around. So now I'm going to stick this in here. I'm going to get a 5mm T-handle. And I'm going to tighten it up. So now, what you want to do, you want to straighten it out to where you think it's straight. And then you tighten it up to where it's snug. You don't want it to be too tight because your headset won't spin. So now, we have it together nice and snug. And it spins like a glove. So now, I'm going to put on the front wheel. So your front wheel should come with an axle right here. So I'm going to undo the axle. Then I'm going to grab my NV Diamond 110mm wheel. Stick it in there. Then I'm going to get the fork, or the axle, and stick it through. There we go. Turn it around. Alright, I'm going to stick the axle through. Turn it around, hold the axle. And I'm going to get the bolt, or the nut, screw it on there. And then for me, I get a 13mm socket and a 6mm wrench. So I'm going to tighten that up. So I'm tightening it up now. And you want to make sure it's tight. You don't want to go as hard as you possibly can. Just make it snug. So now, I'm going to put on the rear wheel. I already have my brake on. So, just grab my axle and my wheel. So, grab my little stand really quick. So right here, I have a NV stand. So I put the front wheel in there. So now it's a lot easier for me to work on my scooter. So what I do is I put one of the spacers that I have on there, put it in there, I stick the axle through, I grab the wheel, stick it in there, and then I have it to where the axle is just staying under the bearings so it's not sticking up. Now I get my other spacer right here, put it in there, and then what I like to do is grab a 5mm Allen wrench and I use it to guide the bearing so then the axle can go through. I get a washer, stick it on there, and then put the nut on, and now tighten it up. Alright, so now I got my 13mm wrench and I got a 6mm Allen wrench. So now I want to tighten it up. And then now tighten it up to where it's snug. Don't go over. Don't tighten it as much as you possibly can because then the wheel will stop. So you want it to be able to spin good. Okay, so now I got my shim because I run standard bars. So now I slide the shim in there. Here we go. Then I grab my Vault titanium bend bars. I slide them in there. And then next you want to straighten out your bars as much as you can. And then right here I have a 6mm Allen wrench socket, and you want to tighten it up. And with the SES clamp, you want to make it to where you don't want to tighten one bolt as much as you possibly can, and then all the other ones are loose. You want to tighten them just a little bit at a time, and then every time you want to add more and more. So now come to here, tighten it more, go down, next one, tighten it more, next one, tighten it more, and now you can really crank on the bolts. There you go, next one. And what I like to do, I just like to go over it one more time and make sure they're all tight and no bolt is loose. Alright, there we go. That's how you put your scooter together. And now we go into the drop test. Man, that sounds pretty dialed to me. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Bye.